Carla Joy. Hello, everyone. This is Coach Carla Joy. I am so glad that you're here to join us this evening. And this evening, I'm just straightening out something with AI. Okay, there we go. We've got the volume under control, and in a moment, we'll have the zoom back under control if I can get rid of the AI. Well, we don't want to get rid of the AI, but at least we want to get it out of the way. Let's see. Okay. All right. Thank you again for joining us, Coach Carla Joy. And it's Friday evening. Yay. I'm alone today, but all my friends, a lot of my friends, are in Georgia having a wonderful time, and they're celebrating at the Pageant Boot Camp. Wish I was there, wish you were there. It's an amazing experience, and the Pagets are wonderful people. And I'm sure that they're having a wonderful meal, Southern style, and learning a lot from the amazing people that will be sharing there. Well, tonight, I'd like to share a little bit about what I'm learning about lifelong well-being. You know, I don't know about you, but I've had issues with my back. And over the years, even though I was very grateful for the help and support of my chiropractor, every time I got adjusted and was relieved, the pain from that crisis was relieved, I would still have to go back to getting into the car, sitting at a desk for 8 hours. I was doing all of the things that had led to the crisis in the first place. So thank goodness for the chiropractor who was able to relieve the pain and give me some strategies for supporting pain-free living, but it never really protected me from the next episode. Enter Wellness Forum Health, and I was introduced to Eileen Kopsaftis, a physical therapist in upstate New York, who has been trained in many modalities. I can't list all of her credentials, but maybe I'll be able to put them into the description below. But she showed us and taught us about motion in three planes. And we this is how we move. We don't just move in one direction. We move in forward and back, side to side, and rotation. So we move in three planes of motion. And she showed and explained why I was having repeat attacks of muscle spasms in my back. Well, she did more than just explain the situation. She gave us um, activities that we could use that could stretch the muscles that weren't stretched, that could balance out the different sets of muscles that work together. So this evening, I just wanted to share a couple of her videos that talk just for a short time about what it takes to have lifelong well-being. So I want to thank you for being here this evening, and we're going to be sharing Eileen's videos about lifelong well-being and how we can move towards it based on how we move our bodies and our understanding of how our bodies move. So I'm going to try to share my screen. I've set up the videos already, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to take a look at, let's share audio. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if this works. Here we go. Full screen.
With ease? Yes or no? I know many people are buying homes so that they can age in place. They're literally planning to decline. And the building industry, of course, is wanting to meet a need that they see. They're doing nothing wrong. However, when we see everyone telling us, oh, you're not going to want a home with stairs when you get older, guess what? Those stairs are what help to keep you stronger and healthier. I have a woman in my online academy who is in her 80s and she climbs an average of 12 or 13 flights of stairs a day to stay in shape. Yes, you can do this. And if you can't climb stairs, what happens when you want to visit family and they have stairs? Yeah, that's not a good thing, is it? So make sure you can climb stairs. Question number 3. Can you balance on one foot without effort? Yes or no? Now, there are tests out there, but I say for at least 1 minute and on each leg. At a past online free event that I hosted, and I've hosted 37 of them in the last few years, the majority of participants shared that they could do this for 30 seconds or longer, many of them for a minute. Many of them were in their 60s, 70s, 80s. So why do we think it's okay if we can only do it for 10? Because of the tests out there, the objective tests. They tell you that if you fail for 10 seconds, you have a 4-fold higher risk of death within the next decade. So what happens when somebody can do it for 12? They think they're golden. Well, are you wobbling? Are you needing to touch down the other foot? I say at least 30 seconds, best bet for a minute. I've been doing what I do for 30 plus years, and 10 seconds really isn't the best goal. All right. Well, we have a few more questions to go over, and I will be doing those next week. But in the meantime, you want to get 7 yeses so you can have lifelong well-being. I'll see you next week.
Okay. So, what answers did you have to Eileen's questions? I hope that you're able um, to answer those questions and that you'll be able to answer the questions from the next video. Let's see, I'm going to share another video.
Video number 3 in a series about lifelong well-being. And in the first video, I asked you this all-important question: do you have lifelong well-being? And then I gave you a very simple yes or no 7-question quiz. And I've been reviewing, I started reviewing, and we got through the first 3 questions, how important they are and why they matter. And so now we are up to question number 4. And I'm hoping you've been paying attention and maybe even taking some notes, and you've decided you're going to do something about this before we even end this series. But if not, I'm hoping today will make a difference for you. So question number 4 was, can you do at least 15 squats in 30 seconds? And yes, this is critical. Now, if you've got knee issues or hip issues or some kind of a pain that really prevents you from doing this, there are ways to train your body to work around that without feeling like you're punching yourself in a joint every time you do a repetition. There are a lot of ways to train the body, but I don't want to get off on a tangent. Maybe that'll be a future series. But in the meantime, can you do at least 15 squats in 30 seconds? Most of my Have Lifelong Wellbeing Academy students can do this. You know, they're pretty much in their 60s or older. Some are a little bit younger, but most are 60 or older, and some are in their 70s, their 80s. And they can do this, and many can do even more than this. I just tested myself before I recorded this, and I could do 20. And I don't spend 4 hours a day in the gym, and I just turned 67. So this what we see as common as we get older is not normal. But it's so common that even the objective test measurements tell us that it's supposed to happen. So look at this. This is the data. This is, they consider this a real world strength and longevity test. And they say as long as you can do this, depending on your age, you're okay. But men are expected to reduce their ability to do squats by half as they age, and women the same, by half. Now, why is it when I'm in my 80s, I should only be able to do 8 squats when right now I'm heading towards 70 and I can do 30? Or I'm sorry, 20. I can do 20. So what's going on here? Why are we being expected to decline? Because something is commonly seen does not mean it's normal. So don't feed into this. If you see something, that says you're going to decline as you age, ignore it, reject it. It's a lie from the pit of hell, and go for the higher numbers. Okay? Because decline's inevitable if you fall into that trap of believing you're supposed to. Okay, question number 5. Can you stand up without using your arms? And then I added a little caveat: after sitting without stiffness. Why is this important? Well, first answer yes or no. Can you stand up without using your arms? And can you stand up after sitting without stiffness? Why is this so important? Well, if you need to use your arms to get up, or if you plop when you sit, you have some serious weakness in major muscle groups. And that will lead to decline. That will lead to decreased independence. I had a man who was 86 years old who came into the clinic who could not stand up from a chair without help from his wife. And he used to be very active, walked to the corner store every morning. His wife brought him in. She was very concerned about his decline. So was his doctor. And he looked up at me and said, "Don't you think at my age I should be allowed to rest?" So he had fallen into that trap. I'm supposed to decline. I'm old. Well, I told him, if you want your wife to dust you off once a day. He was a little surprised at my answer, but within 2 or 3 weeks, he was leg pressing over 200 pounds and getting up out of the chair like a shot. His independence was restored. But had he done nothing? Oh my gosh, what would his future have held? Eventually, he would have ended up in a nursing home. His wife wouldn't be able to manage his needs, not safely and well, if he continued to decline, which would have happened. So, if you need to use your arms to get up, or if you plop when you sit, you have some serious weakness in major muscle groups, and this is inevitable for decline. Do something about it now. Do not wait. And then the stiffness thing. The number one reason I added this as a caveat, and you won't necessarily find this on some objective test, but if you sit for more than a few minutes, do you have back pain when you're trying to stand up straight? Do you struggle? Those front hip muscles are locked short. Well, guess what? They attach to your lumbar spine, and they're pulling on your lumbar spine when you go to stand up. That's why you're getting the pain in the low back. But guess what? It's not your back. It's your hips. So training your hips will help your back. There's so many things that you can learn. I've been teaching this for decades and seen so many people set free from a lot of this stuff that's considered normal as we age. It's not normal. It's just common. And I want you to be normally uncommon or uncommonly normal, however you want to put it. So we will finish this up next week, but in the meantime, I really want you to get 7 yeses so you can have lifelong well-being.
Okay. Well, I hope that you learned a lot from that and that you are thinking about what it would take for you to have 7 yeses about mobility. And I'd like you to go to Eileen's website, Have Lifelong Wellbeing, and subscribe, because I got those videos because I'm subscribed to her website. And along with these informational videos, didn't she make it clear? Wasn't it interesting? Didn't she explain some of the reasons why we have back pain? Well, I got those videos because I'm subscribed to her website. And once you subscribe, you too can get this information on a regular basis. And you too can get some of the videos that can start you on your journey. Now, she does have a paid program, but I think it's worth it. I know that it's worth it to me, not only to be pain free, but to know that what I'm doing is strengthening my muscles, strengthening the groups of muscles, and pushing back disability and uncomfortable aging. I want to have lifelong well-being. I want to age well in place. I want to be able to live in my own home or my own apartment and be able to go up and down the stairs. I can't promise that I'll do 14 flights a day, but I should be able to do 2 or 3 or 4 a day without losing my breath and without having to hold on to the railings to practically pull myself up the stairs. So, what are your health goals? You know, we here at Doctor's Orders, we address the health concerns that affect all of us. And you may say, well, I don't have any of those mobility problems. And I get it. I felt the same way. I really did not feel that I had mobility problems until the end of May, when I had for the first time in about 5 years, I had another back spasm that manifested as sciatica. The pain was unbelievable. I've never given birth, but I felt as though I was in labor for days. And the difficulty with, I couldn't lie down comfortably, I couldn't sit comfortably, I couldn't stand comfortably, I couldn't walk comfortably. The trip to the bathroom or the trip to the kitchen was as far as I could go, and it was all done praying and holding on to a cloth so that I could squeeze it really tight. Um, so I would never want to experience that again. And I'd never want anyone else to experience it. So I thought that I would share some of that information with you today so that whatever your experience is right now, you can protect against something that seemed to come out of the blue for me. For weeks, I had difficulty walking up and down the stairs, walking on level ground, getting out of the car. So, all of these things, I went from what I thought was fully functional to weak, in pain, and almost non functional for several days. So, we're not we're not trying to anticipate pain or disability. What we're trying to do is to avoid them by using our muscles maximally. And Eileen seems to have the handle on what we can do to have lifelong well being. Her program doesn't only deal with the physical movement in the three planes of motion that I mentioned before, it also deals with nutrition. Now, that's the part that I know a little bit more about. And so you know that here on Doctor's Orders, even though what we share is not meant to replace a conversation with your physician, in fact, I encourage you not to make any changes to your medical protocol without having a discussion with your physician about what you'd like to do, what you'd plan to do. But we know that nutrition can contribute to lifelong well being. In fact, whatever you see in the mirror, when you look in the mirror, whatever you see in front of you, that's based on what you've been eating for the past 3 weeks, 5 weeks, maybe for the past year. So, if you want to have lifelong well being, if you want to improve your health, I'm here to tell you you can. As part of a healthy living community, as you know, we are part of the Juice Plus community. We help people bridge the gap between what they're eating currently and what the research shows is going to be an optimal eating plan to support their health restoration, and their healing. So, the research shows that whole food plant based eating is the one eating plan that, in the short term and the long term, helps populations improve and have longevity. But what about your situation? You may have a specific concern. I recommend that you speak with a medical professional, especially one who knows about the role of nutrition. And then do a three-way call with us. We will be happy to talk with you and educate you on what's available to help support your healing journey. Whatever your doctor is recommending, we can help you support it by improving your nutrition. The Juice Plus company has concentrated fruits, vegetables, and berries in capsules, in soft chews, and now in powders that you can just add to water. We also have the complete shake, which is a protein and vegetable powder that has fiber and which actually modulates um, your glucose. It doesn't cause it to spike. And we have the Perform Shake, which has a higher level of protein and is used very often by those who are athletically minded. We also have the Luminate, which is a refreshing drink. You add it to water and it provides energy, but it also provides focus, calm focus. It contains things like ashwagandha and mushrooms and coffee berries. Ask the person who invited you, and we can talk with you more about what's involved. This year, we introduced the superfood. This is your fruits, vegetables, and berry concentrate in a sleeve instead of in the capsules so that you can add it to water and make it into a refreshing drink. And we've also added the super biome. You know, for many decades, we thought that bugs were our enemies. And now we know that the gut microbiome, the skin microbiome, they're all part of a cooperation and a collaboration. So the bacteria in your gut are actually designed or in amounts that are supposed to be helpful for us. But if you've ever been exposed to antibiotics, if you've been exposed to several prescription drugs, if you've been exposed to stress, you may, or if you've been eating the standard American diet, you may have a gut microbiome that is compromised. And so, with the superfood, you are going to get several strains, 9, I believe, of lactobacillus and bifidobacillus that have been examined and tested by researchers who have been researching gut bacteria for decades. So we know that they provide positive results in our metabolism. But to get the bacteria to do their work, they need to be well fed. And the Superbiome product, therefore, also contains 5 great fibers that have also been tested that the bacteria use. So you have the probiotics, you have the prebiotics with which is the fiber, and together they create postbiotics. You've heard of short chain fatty acids that they research shows some of these are produced by the bacteria when they interact with the fibers. Now, that's why whole food plant-based eating is so powerful, because you can only get fibers in plants. You don't get them in animal products. So the more fruits and vegetables you eat, the more you expose yourself, especially if they're in a whole food variety, you are feeding the gut microbiome. So with the superbiome, we're reseeding the gut with high quality bacteria. We're placing it in a delayed release capsule so that it can navigate the gut without being destroyed, navigate the stomach without being destroyed. And we're providing it with the prebiotic fibers so that they can implant and colonize and stay in your body and actually produce the butyrate, the propionate, the other short chain fatty acids that our body uses for health, to reduce inflammation, to maximize the functioning of our bodies. So, the Juice Plus products, the line of products, are all designed to support your body, to support its healing, and to bridge the gap between what you're currently eating and what the research shows is the ultimate eating plan, which is whole food plant-based eating. And we're here to help you on your journey from the standard American diet to the optimal eating plan for humans, which is whole food plant-based eating. Well, we've heard today about the importance of being able to get up from the floor, climb the stairs, squatting, and balance. We've heard about some of those things today, and we've also heard about the role of nutrition. And together, working together, they contribute to lifestyle, a longer life, longevity, and a better quality of life. So come back again and visit us, where we'll talk about other aspects of the 6 pillars of health, and we'll you can ask us some questions, and hopefully you too can begin your own healthy living journey to lifelong well-being. Don't forget to visit Eileen Kopsaftis' website, have lifelong well-being, and tell her Carla sent you. Well, this is Coach Carla Joy saying thanks for joining us. I look forward to seeing you next time. And I hope that you have learned something from what we did today. See you next time.